taping this. We welcome everybody from our YouTube channel too. Today we're going to learn how to make some bows. So let me get started. Miss Terry says still no sound. Does everybody hear me? Oh, I turned it down. Hold on. Can everybody hear me? Give me thumbs up if y'all can hear. Hopefully everybody's good. All right, so yes. Thank you so much. This is what I enjoy doing, is sharing my talent and my love for crafting with others. Y'all, this has been a long time thing since I was a little girl. I did crafts with my mom. It was so fun, and I would go with her, help her set up her booth. I'd crawl underneath the table way early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, we'd be out setting up booths. And then I'd crawl underneath the table and sleep till we got our first customer. So lots of great things came from those sweet little nights or sweet early mornings underneath the tables at the craft booths. So you meet a lot of great people and you can go. Miss Erica, our Hobby Lobby here in Houston is wiped out, smooth wiped out. So they've already got Valentine's going up, but if you are in a city where they do not have a lot, you know, you still have a lot, grab that ribbon, grab the different things that are on sale, the little trucks, the little love bugs, anything that you can transform into other holidays. It'll save you and make you more profit on those things. Thank you, Miss Kristen. So this is a 1.5 inch wired ribbon. I love using wired ribbon because it actually will help hold your form. So the main thing that I like about it, as I take my Christmas bows down off my tree, off my garlands, off my mantle, I'm going to smash them. Because they have wire in them, I'll be able to fluff them back up and use them for years to come. So if you get your wired ribbon, it's going to hold your form a lot better for you. And actually, if you make a wreath and you're traveling with it and it gets smashed or whatever, all you got to do is refluff those bows and you're going to be perfect, okay? So this is a 1.5 inch ribbon. I want to show you guys how to use this plain ribbon and make a sweet little girl's hair bow, all right? So I'm going to come down and I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to make a small tail. When you do this, you crinkle it in and you hold everything between your first finger and your thumb. Holding your ribbon tight, making your loops, and holding this and tying it off is the trick of making a big, beautiful, full bow, all right? So for a little girl hair bow, this little bow is going to be for like a 1.5, probably about a 3 to 6 year old little girl. So I'm going to make a small little loop. I'm going to take your ribbon and I'm going to turn it a half a turn. Now, the trick is when you're making these bows, y'all, is turning that ribbon a half a turn. Because when you turn that a half a turn, that ribbon is going to put the good side of the ribbon back facing you, and it gives it the flexibility when you pull it out to make a good, beautiful, full bow. So I'm going to come to the other side and I'm going to do the same thing. Make a half a loop, take it, twist it a half a turn. Now, as you make your bows, you're going to graduate that ribbon up. Each time you make a loop, you're going to make it just a little bit bigger, and that's what gives you your fullness in your bow. Turn the ribbon a half a turn. Yes, Miss Kristen, that is correct. Now, some of the ribbon, because this is red, it doesn't really matter, because whether you turn it or you don't turn it, both sides of the ribbon are the same. It comes into play when you have a printed ribbon where one side is dull and one side is printed. Get in the habit of turning those bows each time you make a loop, turning that loop, okay? And I promise you that is going to be your trick. So we're going to come down here and we're going to make a loop the same size on the opposite side, taking our ribbon and turning it a half a turn. Once again, come up, make that small loop. As we go here, graduating that size just a little tiny bit, turn it a half a turn. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to make this 3 loops on either side. Okay, so 3 loops on either side. Crinkle it in and turn it a half a turn. Now, before you do anything else, you guys want to take your pipe cleaner, your wire, whatever you've got. Miss Margaret, you may have to sign out and sign back in to get the volume. Some people were saying they were having some trouble, but it most everybody says, yeah, see, Miss Connie says they can hear me. So now I'm going to take my pipe cleaner. I'm going to take it, I'm going to run it through my fingers here, taking it around, pulling this as tight as you possibly can. Now I'm going to scoop my pipe cleaner down because I want to be able to get 2 bows out of this. And because this is going to go on a little hair clip, I don't need much. So if you're tying this on a Christmas tree, then you're probably going to want, yes, Miss Kristen, so 3 loops on either side and a half a turn. Once you get it tied, then you can let go of it. Now I'm going to come back down and I'm going to cut my tail here to match my other side. Now, one thing, when you're tying your bows, if you want to V your ends, you can do that. But whatever you do to one ribbon, do to all your ribbons. So if you cut them at an angle, cut all your ribbons at an angle. And make sure you go back and you actually check that all your ribbons are finished off so that it actually will look like a finished product. Now, this is where you're going to take it and you're going to fluff it up. So if this was a little tiny girl's hair bow, you could take this, cut this off with your wire cutters, take your clip, which you can get at Hobby Lobby. You can get them online, little girl hair clips. They're little alligator clips. You're going to take it and you're going to put a stretch of hot glue across the back or the E6000. Glue this to your clip, all right? Now look, we're not done yet. Guys, there are tons of cute little buttons. There's all kinds of little Valentine stuff out right now. I found these for my little love bug a while ago at Michael's. Michael's is where I found these cute little felt hearts. So look how cute they are. You could take this easily and hot glue it right in the center and you have a beautiful little Valentine's bow for a little girl, okay? Now this little thing came in a little box of all different kinds of Valentines. A few of them had prints on them. So you could even do like a pink and red one and put this Be Mine Valentine in it. Glue it right in the center, right? So you've got a cute little girl's hair bow, just precious as it can be, and they're for what? For just a few minutes of work, all right? So look in your different departments. Look at your buttons, super cute buttons out there. You could make some back to school ones, get some little like yardstick ribbon and put a little school bus on it, or all kinds. I mean, the endless for bows is just, you know, it's always out there. It's an endless situation that you can make all kinds. Oh, Miss Kristen, well, there's tons of stuff you can make for boys too, just not bows, pretty much. So Wyatt, bless his heart, he's been around me way too long. My grandbaby, you know, he is always wanting to craft and do with me. He took a box and he decorated it and put all kinds of stuff on it. He goes, now Nanny, you need to make a bow for the box because this is for Santa. So we, you know, we have to put a bow on everything. So it's okay, but he won't, you know, of course I would make him a bow in his hair, but so this is just a sweet little bow. This is 3 loops on either side. Would make a beautiful package bow to go on. I made a bunch of trays for Christmas, wrapped them in plastic wrap, put a big beautiful bow on the top of it. So this is 1.5 inch ribbons. Okay, great, Miss Erica. I'm so glad. So how long was the ribbon you started with? So let me see here. I think, let me see if there's a tape measure right here and I'll tell y'all. Okay, so this bow, I'll take it apart and show you guys, all right? So let me take it back apart. Yes, Miss Annette, this video will be available after the live, so you can go back and rewatch it. I'm also going to upload it. I'm filming on my actual phone to upload it to YouTube, so you'll be able to go back and watch that. All of my videos are under my events that you can go, and if you'll click all, you can go back and watch all of the videos from March of last year. That's when I actually started pursuing growing my business, not doing it as a hobby, but actually growing my business, because our 5-year goal when Charlie retires, which is my husband, we want to actually sell supplies. So sell supplies and wreaths. So that is our goal. So we've been working really, really hard growing it. But because I still do work full time as a nurse, you know, it's I try to catch everybody and teach as much as I can. So this ribbon right here to make that little bow is 50 inches. So I'm going to tie it again really quick here. So I just took it, make your tails however long you want them, crinkle it in, make you a small loop, crinkle it in, turn it a half a turn, come back behind, crinkle it in, turn it a half a turn, come back up, crinkle it in, turn it a half a turn, come back down. Oh, I'm so glad, Miss Sandra. Welcome. Welcome to all the new people. We love each and every one of you guys. Well, congratulations, Miss Kathy, and thank you for all that you do, because nursing has been so stressed the last few years with COVID and everything. This bow right here was 50 inches, Miss Angela, 50 inches for this little tiny bow. Now, you can make your streamers longer depending on what you want to do with it, where you're going to put it. But y'all, get you a pair of wire cutters. I just use the ones from Hobby Lobby so that I don't ruin my scissors, because that was one of my mom's greatest gripes, that I would always cut these pipe cleaners with the scissors, and it'll put a niche in your scissors so that if you're cutting fabric or something like that, it catches. So you want to be able to keep your scissors good for your ribbons and it doesn't catch it, and then save your wire cutters to cut the wires. So just a heads up. So there you go, sweet little bow, 50 inches on this bow, and I'm gonna set this one aside. Now this bow would be cute on the top of a garland, a cute little hair girl bow. You could even put it on the top of a small package. Tons of things you could do with that size bow. Now this is the next ribbon that I wanted to show you guys. Miss Glenda, thank you for your service as well. There is, okay, so y'all, I'm gonna move the comments off so people can see. All right, so there, I'll have to go back at the end of the live and look at the comments. So if there's something that you guys want me to know, put it in there. If there's any prayer requests, send it in there. I'm also gonna give y'all my my actual cell phone number. If y'all ever have any questions or concerns or need redirection or where to find something, be sure to text me. If I can answer, I will. If not, then I will have to get back with you. Thank you, Miss Susan. So I'm sorry, guys, I'm not going to be able to see your comments for a minute because I'm going to slide them over. Hopefully everybody can see better. And so now this is a satin ribbon. It's a fairly inexpensive material. It's really good to learn how to tie your bows with if you can get this. This is what I use on my homecoming moms. This is the type of ribbon that they use for funeral sprays, for weddings, for a lot of things that are short-lived, okay? So this is gonna be, let's do this is an old trick too, guys. If you take your ribbon, put it to the tip of your nose and stretch your arm out as far as you can go, slightly turn your head, that is about 36 inches, which is 1 yard, okay? So I'm gonna make a 2-yard bow. If you're in a hurry, that's the easiest way if you don't wanna measure each and every one of them. This is a 9/16 size. This is perfect for mother's corsages, for wrist corsages, for boutonnieres. If you were doing a boutonniere, you would just take your ribbon, make it a small loop, pinch it in, turn it a half a turn, come back behind, pinch it in, turn it a half a turn. Now for a boutonniere, you're thinking of a small flower, right? So you only need about 3 loops on either side for a boutonniere. All right, so then I could tie this off and I'd have a perfect little bow. Now I'm using white pipe cleaners today, but if you were doing them for a wedding or something like that, you would either use the thin wire or you would use a pipe cleaner that matched your ribbon. That way it's not showing out. But I wanted to show you guys so you can see the contrast and see how it pops up and makes it tie. So I'm going to take this little tail and I'm going to pull it down to the front. All right, so you would either use a thin wire or use a black pipe cleaner. Then you would take this and wrap around your flower, and then you would have a perfect little bow for a boutonniere. Okay, so now if I wanted to do a mother's corsage, I would take this. This is going to be a little less. Let me measure another 2 yards. For a corsage, for a wrist corsage, or a a prom corsage, some kind of a corsage, Mother's Day corsage, you'll probably want about 2 yards. So you're going to come down and make your tail a little bit longer. Now, if you were making a wrist corsage, I like it with the tails over the piece, right? So I'm going to add an extra tail to the back, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So you're going to come up and make your small loop, pinch it in. Get in the habit of pinching that in the center, holding everything very tight between your first 2 fingers. Come back behind, twist, come back up. Each time making that loop just a little bit longer than the one previous. That is what gives you your fullness of your bow when you pull each side out. Coming up, graduating that, you're stair-stepping those loops, okay? So you're coming back down, twisting it, come back up, twisting it, come back down. Each time you're making the loops on either side about the same length, okay? But the trick is you have to hold this in between your first finger and your thumb so that this does not shift. If you let it loose and it shifts, it's going to put your loops irregular, so it's not going to give you the fullness that you're looking for your bow. All right, so I'm just going to go back and forth here. Now, I'm here to the end. If I make another loop, it's not going to have enough tail, so I'm going to leave that tail a little bit longer, and then I'll cut it. Now, this is a piece that I had left over from the other. So for a wrist corsage, I want that extra ribbon. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to add this to the back, holding it in, and then I'm going to cut me another tail on this side, okay? So I'm going to cut this one, and I'm going to cut that one. Now I'm going to tie this off. Once again, I'm going to use a white pipe cleaner so you guys can see. I'm going to take it here, run it in between my fingers, wrapping it around the center, coming to the back, pulling it as tight as you can. Now you're pushing down with your thumb, and you're pushing up here to get that pipe cleaner as tight as you can to the center. Okay, once you've got it tied and you can let go of that, that's when you start pulling your loops. Okay, so then you've got this beautiful little bow, and it just pops out, as you can see there. So then you could take it and put it on your wrist corsage, and then you've got your little ribbons hanging down. Now this one's kind of turned a little bit, but you just take it up close to the center, turn it the way you want to, and then it's going to drape over your wrist, okay? Now if you wanted this for a mother's corsage, pull those tails down to the bottom, and then tie that around your piece, and you can have a little boutonniere or a little Mother's Day corsage. Use it for a wrist corsage. You could even use these for a little girl's hair bow. Put them on the back, put your little hair clip on the back of these, hot glue it across to the back. You want to make sure that you put it on the straight ones so that you can glue that straight across the back there. Of course, you would clip this wire, and then you would glue it on your hair clip, and then you could put something in the center of it. There's all kinds of things that you can do for little girl hair bows. But this is a 9/16, I believe, 9/16 size satin ribbon. This is the most inexpensive ribbon that you're gonna find. This is the kind that I use for the homecoming moms. As you can see, it's got hot glue over it from homecoming season. You can use the bigger kind. There's about 5 or 6 different sizes of that. This is a 1/5/16, which we call a number 5, and then it comes in the big wide that we would use on a funeral spray or a casket spray, or even a saddle for the cemetery. And this is what we call a number 40. It is actually a 2.5-inch ribbon. These are about $15 a bolt. The bigger the ribbon is a 50 yards. The smaller ribbon is about $17 to $18 now a bolt, but there's 100 yards on it. So if you're looking to practice, if you can get access to this kind of ribbon, which is the satin ribbon, take it, do about a 4-yard bow. This ribbon actually comes waterproof too. It usually is the gold on the bolt when you buy it. This one is waterproof. You can see it's gold color. Most of the time it's just a white or a tan or silver. but the gold one is the waterproof. So watch for that when you're buying it, because if you're using it for homecoming moms, it does not stick as well on the waterproof. All right, so this is a 4-yard bow that I would use for a wedding decoration for some big candle holders, big basket. You could even do a walkway for a wedding. So you're gonna come down and you're gonna give yourself a little bit longer tail, okay? So I'm gonna shorten it up just a little bit. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna crinkle it in. Everything you crinkle it in the center, okay? And you're holding it between your first finger and your thumb. You're gonna come up and you're gonna start your loop, because this is gonna be a little bit of a bigger bow. You're gonna make this loop a little bit bigger. Let me turn this out just a little bit here for my phone. All right, and you're gonna crinkle it in, take it and turn it a half a turn, okay? You're gonna come down, flip it back up, take it, crinkle it in, and turn it a half a turn. And you're just gonna keep working that back and forth until you get down to the end of your ribbon. Crinkle it in and turn it a half a turn. Now, if you have arthritis really bad in your hands, or you have a thicker ribbon that is really big and bulky, it's going to be kind of hard the bigger you want to make your bow, like on the tree toppers. So that may be just a little bit challenging for somebody. So we're going to go back and forth here. Okay, now I'm coming down to the end, and as you can see, I could make another loop here, but then it's not going to leave me a tail, and I want my bow to be even and have 2 tails. So I'm going to stop there, and this is where you have to use your judgment, because it's not going to come out exactly the same way every time unless you measure it. So you're taking your pipe cleaner, you're sticking it through your fingers here, and you're wrapping it around where you're holding it right here in the center. You've got to catch it right here where your thumb is. That is the center. So you come around, pull it as tight as you can, and then you're going to give it a good twist. All right? Once you give it a twist, you can let go of it. But make sure you have it nice and secured before you let go of it, so that it doesn't lose your loops. All right? Then you can take it and you can pull it out, pull it around, and it's the perfect size to do a little walkway, to put on a basket, to put on a chair. You could put it on the corner of your chairs. It could even go on a size like an 18-inch wreath. It would be big enough that you could put on that. Mostly for an 18-inch wreath, you want between a 4 to 6 yard bow, depending if you're mix and matching a lot of ribbons. Now I'm going to put y'all's comments back over here. Thank you, Miss Jessica. Thank you, Miss Susie. Hi, Miss Shell. Welcome, everybody. For those of y'all who have just hopped on, I'm Bobby with Blessings with a Bow. We're out of Leak City, Texas. Y'all be sure to like our page and share with your friends. I have classes periodically on and off with lots of, and they're all free. That's the cool thing about it. So Miss Erica, no questions are ever a stupid question. So the best kind of ribbon that you've got for the bow making is your wired ribbons. And gold is waterproof, Miss Judith. So the gold satin ribbon, when you buy it, if the outside ring is gold, that is a waterproof ribbon, okay? If it's silver or white, that is just regular and it will not withstand outside. So if you're doing a funeral, a casket spray, or a saddle to go out to the cemetery, you want to try to put your gold ribbon on there. It'll hold up longer outside, okay? But it's not, none of the satin is going to be long term. So you might get a few weeks out of it, but it's not going to be something that's going to last for months, okay? So this is satin ribbon. Now I want to show you guys, I've had a lot of comments on how do you make these multi-layered bows, okay? So, oh, okay, Michelle, welcome. So some of our Leak City friends. No worries, if you guys just signed on, no problem. You guys will be able to watch the replay. It will be uploaded to YouTube and it'll be on my live feed that you can watch later. Okay, so now I want to show you guys how to mix and match your ribbons, how to do these cute multi-layered ribbons. Now, of course, it's Valentine's Day. We have lots of cool stuff out there, you know, heading into the holiday season. Y'all, there's all different kinds of ribbons that you can mix and match. You can go from super tiny to super big. I just brought a whole bucket of ribbon in here just so that we can mix and match and play with it. So I've got this red ribbon. This came from Michael's. It is on sale right now for 70% off, okay? And I'm gonna mix and match this with a Valentine's Day. So that's what I said. Don't limit yourself to the holiday. Well, hello, Joe from the Ukraine. Praying for y'all over there for sure. Hey, Miss Lori, Happy New Year's, everybody. So this is a beautiful red glittered ribbon, okay? And I'm gonna make this with a Valentine's Day ribbon, and it's gonna make it pop. So now this is the colors that I'm gonna use. I've got this red. I've got this cute black and white checkered with the red glitter. See how it matches? And then let's put some plain black and white, all right? And then let's put some, let's start with a 3. Let's see where that takes us, okay? So I'm gonna go the glittered, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put the black and the white as the center, the red, and then this. So this is the combination that we're gonna use on this ribbon, okay? So let me turn on one more light here and see if we can get better of the color coordination. Let's see here. I meant to turn this on before we started. Okay, maybe not. Somebody took my cord. Okay. But it'll have to do for right now. All right, so I'm gonna start out with this red and white and checkered with the red glittered, okay? I'm just gonna take a small piece of it. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna cut my tail off of it. Now, something I wanna warn y'all, I always tell everybody this, if you're a diabetic and this wired ribbon, you're working with wired ribbon, be careful because you can see those little tiny wires sticking out there. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's right here, right there. So when you cut that, that little wire is gonna go somewhere. So cut it over a table, cut it over a trash, but be careful because those little wires can get into your feet, okay? So you do not want to cut wired ribbon over without it being over a trash bag or a table to prevent yourself from getting that wire in your feet. All right, I have to give y'all some little nursing tips here. All right, so we're gonna come down, we're gonna make a small tail. All right, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna crinkle it in, holding it between my first finger and my thumb. Coming up, making a small loop, crinkling it in, turning it a half a turn. I'm gonna come back behind, crinkle it in, and I'm gonna turn it a half a turn. Now this is my center bow. Because I'm left-handed, I have to let go so I can use the scissors to cut it. We're gonna make this a 3 different ribbon layered bow, okay? Holding everything in between. I'm gonna take my glittered red, okay? I'm gonna come and I'm gonna make this tail a little bit longer. I'm gonna take it in behind, crinkle it in. I'm gonna come down, make my loop. Take it, crinkle it in, twist it a half a turn. Come to the other side, crinkle it in, and twist it a half a turn. Once again, switching my hands because I'm left-handed, and then I'm gonna cut this. Okay? So this is what we've got so far on our bow. Now, we're gonna come through and add our black and white. Now, this is a Christmas ribbon, got it at Hobby Lobby, 2.5 inch wide. That's what I said. Guys, do not limit yourself to a certain season. Y'all, this black and white checkered, I use all the time. It does not, you can use it for Valentine's Day, you can use it on your farmhouse wreaths, all kinds of stuff. So don't limit yourself. I'm gonna take it, and on the back one, because I wanna finish this bow off, I'm gonna put 2 loops on either side here. Taking it, turn it a half a turn, come back to the other side, take it, turn it a half a turn. Okay, now I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, I'm going to wrap this, and I'm going to tie it off. Going right here in the center, wrapping it around, taking it, pulling it tight, and twisting it. There's old Charlie Brown. He's getting ready to go to work, y'all. All right. So then I cut my tails. I go back and make sure all my tails are cut the same angle because I'm angling these. And now I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull it. All right. Pulling one up, one down. And then giving your tails, you can move your tails all to the front. I like to put my ribbons a little bit at an angle when I put them on a wreath, so I don't ever have them totally straight. Of course, you could do whatever you wanted to. If you wanted it straight, then you could pull this tail down and have all your tails down at the bottom. But see how pretty that mixture of those ribbons were? I always tell everybody, do not throw away any little piece of ribbon. If you can make a loop out of it or 2 loops out of it, save it, because you can intertwine that ribbon into other bows and make big, beautiful bows. Now, the bows that we're making today, like the multi-layered bows like this, will be in the Etsy shop for sale after the live. So if there's any that you're interested in, they will be available after the live today, okay? So y'all hang on to all those little pieces. Now, what I tell everybody to do is if you have a piece of ribbon left over, which, let's see. This is a big 3-piece ribbon, or 3-inch ribbon that I had left over from Christmas. So what I would tell you to do is take it and fold it. If it's wired, take it and fold it. Get you a little shoe box. Stack all those little pieces of ribbon in there. And then as you get ready to tie multi-layered bows, go grab these few little pieces and make something. If this right here, even though that's a scrap piece of material, it's pink and gold, like the rose gold and gold, right? You could take this and put it right here, come up from the bottom side, take it in the center, hot glue that, twist tie it, and make a beautiful little girl's hair bow out of that scrap piece of material that you were going to throw away. All right, you could put a big, beautiful brooch in the middle of it and make that a big, beautiful hair bow for a little girl. So hang on to all those scrap pieces of material because everything is so expensive, guys. You've got to utilize what you've got without and make money off of it, right? So that is that. So that's a little trick for you guys. Now I want to show y'all how to do a tree topper. Everybody says, I want to know how to do a tree topper. So I'm going to, later this afternoon, I'm going to change out my Christmas tree up front from my gingerbread Christmas tree to my Valentine's tree. And I'm going to have a tree topper. So I want to show you guys how to use ribbons and make you a beautiful tree topper, okay? Now, the ribbon that I'm actually going to use right now, I want to do a Christmas one because I want you guys to see what I'm talking about with the twisting and the turning of the ribbons. So the ribbon that I'm going to use is a red truck ribbon, as you can see, right? So this is why it's so important to learn how to do that twisting and tying from the very beginning. This ribbon is printed and glittered on one side, but it is dull on the other side. So let me show you guys. So Miss Vicki, my bows range anywhere from $12.95 up to $35 depending on the size, the amount that they are. Most of the bows are anywhere from $12 to $15. The bigger bows range from $16 to $25, and then the big tree toppers are usually $25 to $40 is the most one I've ever done, depending on how much ribbon it takes and how big your tree is. So for my 12-foot tree that you guys can kind of see in the back right here, I used about close to 15 yards of material for the top of that tree. So I used velvet red because it's in red, black, white, and silver is what I did my tree in, with owls and big, beautiful ornaments. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But I do custom orders, so please, if you ever need anything, do not hesitate. I've got a lady that I'm working with right now. She wants to do bows for all of her trees next year. So she sent me pictures room by room. We're going to go through it. We're going to do one order at a time. So by next year when she's ready to set up, she'll have everything she needs. So whatever you guys need, just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to make your bows for you. But I want to teach you how to do it if you want to learn how to do it. All right. So now I'm going to use this green, this truck ribbon. I'm going to use the red regular satin ribbon that from Sam's. So I'm going to use this red, and then I'm going to mix the black and white with it, okay? Oh, thank you, Miss Carolyn. I've got several people on here that have bought bows from me, so they know. And then I want to show you guys, too, when we get done making this tree bow, I'm going to show you guys how to take it, collapse it, and refluff it for next year, okay? So I'm going to use this ribbon. I'm going to use the truck ribbon, and then I'm going to mix it with the black and the white. But I want the 3 or the 2.5 inch truck ribbon to be my last ribbon. So I'm going to go this combination, the black and the white, the red, and the truck, okay? And I want to show you guys. So Miss Cindy, I am a full-time nurse, so I do everything out of my home. I'm in Magnolia Creek in League City. If there's ever anything that you want, you can definitely pick up from the house. I do all kinds of sweets and treats and baking and stuff too. But I do still work full-time, so I don't actually have a shop as of yet. Charlie and I are working for his 5-year plan to be able to have supplies, ribbons, wreath frames and stuff like that to be able to sell and ship all over the world. But as of right now, we only ship in the United States, and we do have an Etsy shop, and we are really growing pretty fast. So we're anxious to see how the next 5 years goes. So awesome, Miss Esmeralda. We are definitely hats off to nurses, because y'all, this has been a very, very trying few years. So thank God we've all made it. Thank God we still have some of our sanity left. But y'all pray for those nurses and those people in the hospital, because it has been a big, big, big trying time emotionally, spiritually, everything through this COVID season. So I'm glad to see some positive things moving towards the future. Let's see. It does not matter, Miss Sheila. The thing is that I always say when you're making a bow is use your smaller ribbon in the center and then work to the bigger. Now, if Miss Janice, I'll tag my Etsy shop here at the end of this. It's Blessings with Bows at Etsy.com. Let me put that on here real quick. I was meant to copy it so I could paste it on there, but you can go to my main page and there's a link on there, and I'll post it after this too, because I'm going to give y'all a special discount at the end of this for the Etsy shop this afternoon. Blessings with Bows at Etsy.com. Charlie, do you have your phone right there? Could you sign on to my Facebook and let me copy it so I can tag the link on here? Because it never works when I type it like this. Yes, I make all kinds of outside wreaths, inside wreaths, fleece blankets, all kinds of stuff. So everything that I make is located in the Etsy shop. There's some centerpieces. There's going to be these little love bugs. Tomorrow night, guys, be sure to join me back, because we're going to do the trucks tomorrow. Miss Robin, no worries. You can sign back on and watch the replay after this. So we're still making bows, so you can just jump right in. So I'm going to use this 1.5 inch ribbon. You want to actually layer your ribbons, usually starting from the smaller to your bigger. Now I'm going to do this 2 times because it's going to be a 2 layered with 3 ribbons. So it's going to be 6 sections of different ribbons. Hold on just a second. Let me grab this. Not much, Miss Debbie. Hold on just a second. Okay. Let me just get on my Facebook real quick, and I'm going to copy this for you guys and post it. My husband's, I'm using his phone. So, I want y'all to see. Hopefully I can find it really, really quick here. So if you are in the League City area, y'all know that you can always, okay, it doesn't, let's see. Oh, copy link. Okay, hold on. I'm coming. Let me hop back on live. Okay, I'm putting his comment right here. And it's going to be under Charlie. So you can just click on that link, Charlie Moss, click on that link, and you'll be able to go straight to my Etsy shop. Okay? Here you go, honey. All right. See, it's always good to have like 5 or 6 devices going on. So, yes, you can definitely watch the replay. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to make a small tail. All right? I'm going to make a small loop, and I'm going to come back down here. Now, you could put 2 loops in the center. You could put 3 loops in the center, whatever you want to do, just depending on what kind of bow you're wanting to do. And I'm sorry if it's freezing on anybody, y'all. We got kind of a high humidity today. Y'all, it was hot here today. Oh my gosh, it was so crazy out. I was like, where is the AC? I know they're not so cold up, so hot up north. So then I'm going to come down, put my next ribbon on, my red. And this time I'm going to do 2 loops on either side. Now there is no rule of how many loops, how many lengths, how many layers. It's whatever you guys are wanting to do for the design that you're wanting it to go on. So on this next one, I'm going to put 2 layers, 2 loops on either side. Okay, I'm going to come up here and cut it. Once again, making my tail a little bit longer. Okay. Now I'm going to come back with a 2.5 inch ribbon. Now this is why it's so important that you twist that ribbon, okay? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make this tail longer. I'm going to crinkle it in the center. I'm going to make 1 loop, okay? I'm going to crinkle it in the center. Now, if I did not turn this and I come back and did the loop, you've got the dull side of the ribbon. That's why it is important to get in the habit of twisting that ribbon. If you guys will learn that up front, it'll be the biggest change to your bow making ever. Take your ribbon, turn it a half a turn. That brings the pretty side of the ribbon back up towards you, okay? So then I'm going to come up here, make a little bit bigger loop. Now I'm graduating the loops each time to the loop before. You don't want to go this big because it is going to flop, all right? So each time you make that loop just a little bit bigger. Twist it, come to the other side. I'm going to put 2 loops on this, come back around, and then I'm going to cut this. Now, I'm going to put another layer of the same pattern on here again, okay? So I'm going to start with my black and white. It's a 1.5 inch. So I'm going to come down here, draping this tail a little bit longer, holding it, come down, make that loop a little bit bigger, twist it, come back up here, same thing, a little bit bigger. Now it looks like a hot mess right here, guys, but once you get it all tied off and get it together, it's all going to turn out to be a beautiful bow, okay? Now I have to take it and change hands, so be careful if you're left-handed and you have to actually change hands, that you're holding everything very tight in the center, because if that slips, then you're going to have to start over, and that sometimes makes you want to think bad thoughts. Never say it, just be like, dadgummit. So sometimes I get frustrated with it if I'm tying a bunch of bows in a hurry and it slips. It'll be like, 50,000 things going on. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to add 2 loops of my red, finishing it off with my big truck ribbon. Once again, you're measuring those loops, elevating them just a little bit bigger each time. Switching hands again for me. All right. Hello, Lee from Southeast Missouri. Welcome. All right, now I'm going to finish off with this 2.5 inch truck ribbon. I'm going to make this a longer tail. Come here. And I'm going to come back behind, and you can see that each loop has graduated, right? So I'm going to come down here, making that a little bit bigger, and I'm going to finish this off with 2 loops on either side so that it gives my smaller ribbon the support that it needs. Okay? Miss Vicki, we see patients in Richmond, Texas. I work for a hospital, and then I also work for a home health agency, so we see patients over there. All right, guys, so this is where it gets a little tricky, okay? So you've got all of this right here pressed in between your fingers, okay? So you have to take your pipe cleaner and run it through your fingers here, okay? And you're gonna tie this off. Now, the main thing that you have to realize that when you tie this off, do not let go of this until you get this tight, okay? So I'm pushing down on it, and I'm getting up here as close as I can to the base, and I'm turning that. Give that a few twists to make sure it's nice and tight before you let go of it. Now I'm gonna cut my tail on this end. And if you saw this bow, you'd be like, oh my gosh, look at that hot mess. But wait, y'all, here comes the magic. We're gonna pull these tails down. Okay? We're pulling loops up, loops down. And this is what gives it your circular form of your bow. So you just pull one up, one down. And because I like the wired ribbon, y'all, it is so easy to fluff and move however you want to. Now you could leave some of the tails up if you wanted to. You could move some of the tails down if you wanted to, however you want to do it. And then you just form it however you need it to look to match your piece. And then you've come out with this big, beautiful bow. Okay, so then you have this big, beautiful tree topper. This would be a great size to go on a like 5.5, 6, 7.5 foot tree. Okay, and then you could make 2 of them, put one on the front, one on the back side of it, and it would just make it look super full. And then that's why I like the pipe cleaners, because you can just take them, wrap them around your tree, twist it tight, and then when it comes off, no issues whatsoever. Now, let me show you guys how to store these, okay? So you take this tree topper off of your tree, and you get ready to put it in your container till next Christmas. So you take it and you find the center of it, and then flatten it out. This is why you guys want to use wired ribbon, okay? So flatten it out, curl your tails up underneath it, and throw it in your box, okay? Then when you get it out next year, you take it and you just take your fingers in between each of the loops and fluff it up. And this bow will come back to life like it was just made. And this is why you want to use wired ribbons, so that you can have multiple years of use out of them. And it looks just like new in no time at all. Then you have your big, beautiful bow that you can put back up on a tree and use it again, okay? Or if you got your husband a big gift and you want to put a big, beautiful bow on it, you could do it that way too. He's looking at me like, what? I didn't get a bow for Christmas. No, you didn't get a bow for Christmas. He should have got a bow. He got his new seats for Christmas, so he should have had a big bow on his truck. So thank you guys so much. Now I want to show y'all something. You're not going to really use this ribbon much right now. Of course you could on like some, if you were doing some farm wreaths. I always break the pipe cleaners. Miss Jo, get the pipe cleaners from Hobby Lobby. Back in the actual craft section, they're thicker and they're stronger. You will love them, and it's softer on your hands than using the wire. Now, So this is just a, let me see if it says what it is. It's like a burlap, but it's thin, right? And there's no wires in this. So I use this a lot during the fall. So, oh, Miss Sheila, yes. I am going to do wreath classes. I do wreath classes. I do blank. Anything that I know how to do, I will teach you guys how to do. We've done wreaths. We've done swags. We've done lanterns. We've done fleece blankets. I've got some cute little Easter baskets out of grapevine that I'm going to teach you guys how to do. So be sure to click on our page and follow us. That way when we have classes, you'll be able to know what's coming down, what the next class is going to be. So tomorrow night, we're going to learn how to do these. Tomorrow afternoon, because I'm off tomorrow, believe it or not. So this is a cute little love bug that's going to go into my Etsy shop later tonight. I've got 2 of these, so we're going to do one of these tomorrow night, and we're going to do a little red truck. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Don't just limit yourself to whichever holiday, because these were Christmas. They had Christmas trees in them. I took the Christmas trees off and made a love bug out of it, right? So I've got another one of these to do tomorrow night along with a red truck. So we're going to do those tomorrow night. It's tomorrow afternoon, if I'm not mistaken, probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or something. I try to do a little bit earlier. I know they're so cute, Miss Viola. So cute. So be sure to follow our page so that y'all can find out when our classes are and learn what we're doing. We've done fleece blankets. We did the glass blocks. Those were a huge hit. The glass blocks that you put the lights into, guys, those can be used for Valentine's Day too. Super, super cute gifts, especially for teachers, secret people at work. You want to do a little gift, and they're fairly inexpensive. You can get the glass blocks at Hobby Lobby when they go on sale for 50% off. Put some Christmas lights in them. Y'all, all the lights are on sale right now. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Where did I see them? Walmart today, 50% off Christmas lights. Get those 50 lights, stick them in there, get the white strand, put them inside, you put ribbon around it, and put a beautiful little display on top. Y'all, so cute, and they will love it. They absolutely love those little things. So I want to show y'all how to use this burlap. It's a thin burlap. It does not have any wire in it. So be, I don't want to say be careful with it, but it's not going to hold as great form. So I definitely like using this with a wired ribbon just to kind of help give it a little bit of support. Okay, so this is just, this you can buy all year round at Hobby Lobby. It's on the bottom shelf. It's a jumbo roll. Catch your ribbons on sale. Y'all know they go on sale. It used to be 50% off. They're only 40% now, and they're on sale usually every other week. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that ribbon. And you know that you can mix and match all kinds of things. Thank you, Miss Kristen. I know there's so many things to learn, so many little tricks. I try to share with everything that I know how to do, guys. Like I've shared with so many of y'all before, if it hadn't been for my crafts when I was in nursing school, we would not have made it. So it is, I feel that if I can teach somebody how to do something that will bring income to their family, that's my gift to you guys. I never charge for anything. I want y'all to be able to help you wherever you need that help. Okay, so I try to share some of my cooking stuff if you're a cooking person, my candy recipes, anything that I know how to do, I will be more than happy to share with you guys. Oh, you're so welcome, Miss Catherine. And yes, Miss Tina, you'll be able to watch the replay right after this. I will set it up on YouTube. You can watch my YouTube channel at Blessings with a Bow. And see, Miss Kristen, I'm telling you, it is, there are so many times, if it had not been for my crafts and my candy making, that we would not have made it. But just know that God will provide a way, and just hold the faith, rub off y'all's little mustard seed, and hang on, because he has a plan, and he is going to line everything up right when y'all need it, okay? So don't ever, ever underestimate his power in your life. So also, guys, if y'all don't know, if you ever have any prayer requests, please feel free to message me. You can text me. I'm up all hours of the night. If you can, if you need something instantly, message me. I'll try to respond as quick as I can to you. I'm going to put my cell phone number on here again, because y'all are going to need that here in just a minute. If, as we're coming down to the end of the bow class, I do want to let everybody know that, as my gift to you guys also, if you're looking for any items. I wish, Miss Lori, that I did make candles, but I'm going to try something. I saw, real quick before I get on to what I was going to say, I saw at Hobby Lobby, they have a wood heart deep wood dish. I have some candle wick, and I'm going to try to pour a candle. We're going to try it. We're going to try it together. I've never done it, but we're going to try it. Okay? So I will do one, and then if it works, I will show you guys how to do it. Miss Beth, get with me afterwards, and I will be more than happy to make them for you, okay? Because like I said, I'll ship all over the United States. We're not international yet, but hopefully by the time we get ready to do our resupplies and ribbons and stuff, I will be, okay? So I'm going to say bye to YouTube real quick. I'm going to sign off for them.